Unpredictability. The president's war secretary talking about the possibilities in Iran. Let's bring in Fox News senior strategic analyst, retired General Jack Keane. General, great to see you tonight. Let me start with this. How do you see this? I know you're very plugged in. How do you think this war comes to an end?
All right, folks, buckle up. So today we're diving into a clip with the legendary General Jack Keane, and he's dropping some serious truth bombs about Iran. Forget about the mainstream media hand-wringing. General Keane is here to give us the unvarnished strategic reality. He's going to lay out exactly how the U.S. and Israel are putting Iran in a strategic chokehold. You won't hear this level of clarity anywhere else, so let's get into it.
Yeah, well, the 2 or 3 weeks the president is citing there is not something he picked out of the air. This is the estimate he's getting from the commander of Central Command, who controls all U.S. forces, Admiral Bradley Cooper, and also from Prime Minister Netanyahu and his Chief of Defense, General Samir. So that's based on what it's going to take to achieve all the assigned objectives. And obviously they're comprehensive, and clearly the focus is appropriate. You know, how a war ends is much more important than how it starts. And coming to an end, what we really want to do is measure success. And quite frankly, the tasks assigned have been comprehensible, but every one of them has been achievable. And they, quite frankly, are, number one, take away their offensive capability to use drones, ballistic missiles, their Navy, their Air Force, even their defensive capability in terms of air defense. We are well on our way to accomplishing that goal. And in the next time frame, we'll finish it. The second thing certainly has to do with future capability. That's why we focus on all of the companies that build the weapons to operate offensively or defensively. And that has been a very comprehensive, detailed targeting plan. And also in the last several days, both forces, the combined force of Israel and the United States, have been focusing very heavily on the industrial civilian capability of the country. For example, steel mills, other manufacturing centers, and the like. Clearly to have an economic impact on this country for sure in terms of its posture going forward. The third thing, and you talked about it, we want to eliminate whatever is left of this nuclear program. And we know for a fact there are some enriched uranium. How we do that is a presidential decision, whether we go take it or whether we destroy it and create more rubble out of it, which it is likely in that condition now.
See that? Every one of them has been achievable. That's the kind of confidence you get from a military mind that actually knows how to win. You hear a lot of chatter out there, especially from the experts on cable news, about how difficult everything is, how complex, how impossible. They love to complicate things to make themselves sound smart, or worse, to sow doubt and fear. But General Keane, he cuts through all that. He's not talking about hypotheticals or maybes. He's talking about concrete objectives, clearly defined tasks, and the absolute certainty that they can be achieved. It's like a contractor telling you, yeah, we can build that house, instead of some academic mumbling about the philosophical implications of putting a roof on. This isn't some pie-in-the-sky wish list. This is a battle plan from people who understand strategy, logistics, and how to actually execute. When you have clear goals and the will to achieve them, achievable isn't just a word, it's a promise. And that's a refreshing change from the usual doom and gloom, isn't it?
And then after that, we have, I think, 2 big missions in front of us. One is open the Straits of Hormuz. Now, U.S. Commander Bradley Cooper has been on this for 14 days, stripping away the capability of the Iranians to influence it, to, in other words, retaliate when the ships start moving through the straits. Small boats, mines, anti-ship missiles, long-range missiles, artillery, all of the capability that they have for the last couple of weeks have been attrited day in and day out, so that we get to a point here where we can escort ships down, have them in some kind of a bubble where they're protected. There'll be Apache helicopters up, there'll be drones up, the A-10 Warhogs will be up, and it will be able to get through that straits. It doesn't mean the Iranians won't have some capability to fire at them. Of course they can. But there'll be adequate defense measures there and minimal risk to that. Our commanders are confident that they can open and secure these straits going forward. The plan would be to pass this responsibility to our allies and then let them continue with it, and we will pull away. How we negotiate that transfer, yet to be seen. The other thing you mentioned is Carg Island. For our viewers to understand, Carg Island, 90% of the oil distribution goes through that island. It reaches it by pipelines, and then the ships are loaded out of the distribution points. And we've already taken down all the military targets on that island. We have a choice to make. Do we occupy it and take control of it, or blockade it, or we destroy it? That is a presidential decision. In any way, what the result will be quite profound, and I believe it's checkmate for the regime, because now we will either control or destroy their economic viability as a nation state to have any capable power projection in the near future.
Checkmate, you hear that? That's not just a fancy chess term, that's General Keane telling us in no uncertain terms that Iran's number is up. Carg Island, 90% of their oil distribution. Think about that for a second, 90%. That's not just a major artery, that's practically their entire circulatory system for funding terrorism, for propping up their own rotten regime, and for developing whatever nasty surprises they're cooking up. And the options, occupy, blockade, or destroy, all of them lead to the same outcome, economic strangulation. It's like cutting off the credit card of a teenager who keeps buying junk food and causing trouble. Without that oil money, their proxies dry up, their nuclear ambitions hit a wall, and their ability to project power becomes a pipe dream. This isn't about de-escalation or diplomacy with a regime that only understands force. This is about hitting them where it hurts the most, their wallet. It's a harsh truth, but sometimes you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet, especially when that omelet is regional stability. This is the kind of decisive action that actually works, unlike endless negotiations that just give them more time to scheme.
And the final thing is what the Israelis have been working on, degrading the leadership. And you showed it on your board night after night. We have significantly degraded tiers of leadership, but also the organizations. What are they? The IRGC, the organization, paramilitary organization that really helps to sustain the regime more than anything else. Many of the leaders of the regime come out of that organization. It's also the Bazi militia who repress the people, the law enforcement command, and also the national police. All of those have been attrited. They're not destroyed, but they're significantly degraded. And that will have impact on the regime going forward. When those missions are accomplished, and our estimates in 2 or 3 weeks, I think we will be over. But that doesn't mean we don't leave and tell Iran what we expect of them. And there's some things we can expect of them. Not to recover their nuclear program, not to recover their ballistic missile program, stop supporting their proxies. They're going to have difficulty doing that given the economic collapse that they're facing, and don't repress your people. And I think we got a pretty good lever after less than 60 days of what we've done to this regime. If you do any of that, then the United States is going to react to it. This is a powerful dimension here in terms of what the United States and Israel, I believe, has been able to accomplish in something less than 60 days. I know there's people, it stuns me, the lack of knowledge that people have in attacking what's taking place here, when it's one of the most successful military operations I've been able to observe, period.
Yeah, and I know you talk every day to people intimately involved. That's why we want to give you time to kind of lay out the map for us. General, we really appreciate it.
And there you have it, folks. General Keane pulling back the curtain on the strategic realities in the Middle East. It's a breath of fresh air to hear someone speak with such clarity and conviction, especially when so many others are mired in confusion or outright misinformation. Don't let the noise distract you from the facts. If you appreciate this straightforward, no-nonsense analysis, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on my next deep dive. What do you think about General Keane's assessment? Let me know in the comments below. And as usual, stay vigilant, stay informed, and I'll see you on the next deep dive.